Tornado is heading your way, and you only have about 13 minutes to get to a safe place. If not, you might just find yourself getting sucked into a freezing vortex and being tossed around at speeds up to 480 kilometers per hour, while also dodging homes, cars, and maybe even cows traveling at the same speed. Do you really want to take that chance? This is What If, and here's what would happen if you got sucked into a tornado. Almost 75% of the world's tornadoes occur in the United States, which means that about 1,300 tornadoes hit the US every year. Most of these tornadoes occur between April and June in an area known as Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley is an area in the central US where the 4 ingredients needed to form a tornado frequently come together: moisture, instability, lift, and wind shear. Unfortunately, you too have been swept up in this rambunctious gathering. And now you're wondering how long this party will last and whether you're going to come out of it alive. There are several reports of people who were picked up by tornadoes and dropped a couple hundred feet away without a scratch, but don't get your hopes up. According to one estimate, 91% of the people who encounter a tornado are either killed or severely injured. But suppose you like to live dangerously and choose to ignore the risks. So you opt to go on a nice bike ride in, let's say, Kansas. Unfortunately, it's not the nicest day for a ride. A supercell is brewing. Supercells are the most powerful types of thunderstorm. Supercells are unique because they contain mesocyclones, which are large rotating updrafts that can become a tornado in the right conditions. When warm air and cold air collide, as they tend to do in the central United States, the resulting atmospheric instability creates rolling columns of wind, known as wind shear. With its strong updraft, the mesocyclone in a supercell lifts the rolling column of wind into a vertical position, and soon a tornado is born. And if you're anywhere nearby, let's just say your chances of survival are up in the air. If you get sucked into a tornado, you'll be hurled and spun around at the speed of the wind. In extreme cases, the wind speed in a tornado can reach higher than 480 kilometers per hour. And remember, it's not just you in there. Depending on the strength and intensity of the tornado, glass, wood, bricks, and even houses and cars could be inside there. But being hit by a flying cow wouldn't be your only concern. You'd also have to contend with freezing temperatures and a lack of oxygen. With the wind constantly being funneled into the center of the vortex, the temperature inside a tornado would be 15 to 20 degrees colder than it would be outside. And researchers think that the air density would be about 20% lower than that found at high altitudes, which would be similar to breathing at an altitude of 8,000 meters. At that height, you'd need assistance to breathe, so if you were stuck in the tornado for longer than 3 minutes, you'd probably pass out from lack of oxygen. But if you spend your time inside the tornado begging for it to come to an end, keep in mind that when the tornado does stop, you'll be dropped from whatever height you reached while you were inside. Luckily, Kansas is known as the wheat state, so maybe there'll be a soft bale of hay nearby to break your fall. But I'd worry about surviving the inside of the tornado first, or maybe you can just avoid this situation altogether. When you hear that tornado siren go off, get to a safe place as soon as possible. If you don't have an underground shelter, your basement is the next best thing, since the foundation of your house is stronger and less likely to be ripped up by a tornado. But while these measures might protect you from getting sucked into a tornado, sometimes there's nothing you can do to prevent getting swept off your feet. I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about a world without gravity. But that's a story for another What If.